Hey guys, it's Laurie of Laurie's Heirloom Sewing. It's so late in the day, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, October the 29th. I spent a whole bunch of time editing the video that I did yesterday, so I hardly have time today. But there's one cool thing about today. I have a package coming that has the snaps that I ordered for my glasses case. So and I'm like 3 stops. I was looking, you know how you can track it. It's kind of creepy, but at the same time, it's kind of good to know. I don't live out in the country, so I'm not like acres or miles away from one stop to the next. So the truck driver is very close to my house, and I'm kind of hoping that he'll get here in time for me to do a video using those snaps on my glasses case, because that's what I want to do today. I am still working on the skirt, but if you watched the video about the skirt, you know there was a lot of math involved. I'm still kind of mathing a little bit, but I kind of want to think about it a little bit more, and I may actually just do a mock-up. I'm just going to do it. I don't want to cut my vintage, really hard to find fabric and then discover that there's no way that I can recoup that loss if something were to go wrong. So I'm kind of looking around to see if I have enough fabric, and I should, to make a mock-up out of. And if I don't have actual fabric, I know I've got old sheets and stuff that I can throw something together with. And for that matter, I could just take a whole bunch of fabric and sew it together and then make out of cabbage and then use that as a mock-up. That actually might be kind of a cool video, in fact. I don't know, would somebody wear that? That would be so funny. So this morning I was taking a break and decided to work on my homespun table topper needlework thing, I think is what I'll call it. That sounds so good. And what happened is I was moving from the sewing room to my bedroom, and I could not find this huge needle anywhere. This needle was missing, and I don't know if you can see it. It's huge. Let's see how big it is. It is literally exactly 2 inches long. It's a huge needle, and I was so worried that either Bam Bam or Harley, our dogs, would either step on it, or you know how dogs do, snuffle on it, try to figure out what it is, bite it. I was terrified. So my husband a while ago made me a magnet, because I have a really bad habit of dropping pins in my sewing room, and because I have horrible bad hips and bad knees, limited mobility, just a lot of issues going on. It's difficult. I try every day to move and do things so that I won't be completely frozen up, but sometimes picking up pins or needles or whatever, you have to kind of get down on your hands and knees and crawl around, and I was not able to guarantee that I would be able to get back up off of the floor if I did find it. So I decided to use the thing that he made for me a while ago, and it's the most ridiculous thing, but you know what? It works. So this is a Swiffer handle that was left in this house when we bought it. The people that moved out didn't take it with them, and we didn't throw it away. Amazingly, it's just the handle, and it's that extend the handle thing. The house has really tall ceilings, so you can do some stuff, but you can make it shorter, make it longer. I haven't really tried all of the It says push this thing. I don't know. I haven't tried all of the setting. Oh, I see. So you can make it tiny, and then you pull it out, and it is, I don't know, 27. It's about 30 inches or so, maybe. Anyway, he took a zip tie and a heavy-duty magnet, and he used tape, and he just taped it to this thing, this Swiffer thing, and then he put a hook on the side of my sewing table and said, you know, if you drop pins or whatever, this should work. Well, does it ever? Here is a safety pin right here. So I'm just going to drop it on the floor. Boink, on the floor it is. I just picked it up, and there we go. So anyway, I walked all over the house with this thing. I was doing, like, you know, the sweep, where I was just going along, doing this back and forth across the rugs and the hardwood floor, around in the corners, all through the house, from the sewing room, in the foyer, down the hallway, across rugs, the vast expanse of this ridiculous hallway. I mean, it was just like, oh my God, where could that thing be? My whole entire bedroom, I didn't even really, I just walked from, when I took this with me to work on it, I walked from my door to my bedroom, across to where my little computer station is, sat down, and I could not find this ridiculous 2-inch needle anywhere. So that was my path, and that was what I was using this on. Well, I got a little bit nervous because I didn't find it. So I thought, well, maybe that magnet isn't strong enough, so I added one of these. You remember these I made for refrigerator magnet things? Whoa. So I popped that big old thing on there. Very strong magnet. Went all around. I thought, well, maybe it got picked up by a shoe or something. So I literally went through the entire house sweeping around with this thing. This piece of thread, and a stray dog hair are the three things that the piece of tape picked up off of the floor. And that was it. So I thought, oh boy, we've got a problem. What am I going to do? Well, then I thought, well, I'll just go in my sewing room and see. And my husband was in a meeting. You know, he's working from home now, obviously, like most people. But he was in a big meeting, and I didn't want to, you know, disturb him. I couldn't disturb him. And fortunately, he had both of the dogs in his room with the door shut. So I was thinking, okay, they're safe. So, oh, weird. That was really freaky. All right, so I came back, and I had put this just like this, and I came back in here, and I thought, where is this needle? Freak out, freak out. So I looked at every single one of the squares, square by square by square by square. Each one, whether I had already done the echo stitching, had just started the echo stitching over here, or whatever, I just thought, oh, what in the world? So I flipped it over, and I looked, and I didn't see it. There's my thread. And I thought, well, of all things, could it possibly, in some strange way, is it possible that this needle went down inside? Where was it? Where did it go? Oh, I've already closed it off. It had gotten itself, I'll pretend like this one right here. It had gotten down inside like this. It was down in there, in the one that I was working on. Not attached to any thread or anything, just going around, la 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 la. And thank God I thought to look in there. I don't even know. So anyway, I could have taken the magnet finder thing and run it, you know, taken the safety pins out and then run that over. But my whole reason for telling you guys that story is I think that every sewing room should be equipped with a huge magnet. And if there's no such thing out there, or if there is and it's just not affordable, then try to make something. Use the things that you can get your hands on, and try to come up with something that'll work for you. Okay, I think I hear there's a FedEx truck. That might be our snaps. Okay, so here's this, and here's my two glasses cases. There's one, and what I'm going to do is right at the top, I'm going to put a snap. Here's this one, and then there's that one, and then they snap. Then there's these things that you put on the back. That's what I was looking for. Wow, what a conglomeration of stuff. Attach it to itself and line it up. God, I realize you guys can't see a thing I'm doing. Okay, so I don't know if you can see these two bumps right here in this fabric, but I'm just gonna snip and snip, and then it should just push through that, what's that called, flour sack. So I can see where if you had the snaps, planning ahead would be really, be easy to cover these up if you knew that you were going to be doing this ahead of time. Snap it closed, and now nothing is going to fall out at all. They're really in there, and it takes quite a bit of actual pull to get that magnet to let go. This is pretty cool. What I need to do is just pull this out. And since it's kind of an after the fact, it won't be encased in the seams. Take this to the ironing board after I get a good measurement. And I think what I want as far as measurement goes is about a 1/2 inch or maybe a little bit more of overhang. So, or a full inch if I do the 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, I like that. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this right there, and then I'm gonna fold the short ends in, and I'm going to fold this in half and press it like that, and then I'm going to fold each side to the middle fold. Okay guys, I'm back. And so here is this strip. Now, I forgot to mention, of course, that I would need to stitch this down as a strip. So, the other thing I have to do in order to make this happen is I've got to change out the thread on my sewing machine. Ooh. So that's what I'm going to do. And you know that involves, at least for me anyway, and George, I have to make sure that the lint has been properly dealt with down here. It just gets insane. Okay, so here's this little piece. I'm gonna move some of this stuff so it doesn't all fall to the floor. All right, and I'm just gonna make it into, I'm just gonna sew down this where they're folded together. I don't need to do anything else to it, I don't think. I may change my mind. At the moment, that's what I'm gonna do. Now if I take this where the seam allowance, where the seam is, these are finished off right here. So what I think I'm going to do is pin. We'll see what happens. I might end up having to clip. I think I can get, yeah, okay. All right, and then just kind of I love the fact, I'm scared I'm going to get poked, that just snaps. It's nice. Okay, I think I'll use the burgundy thread. Okay guys, I wanted to show you. So I'm done across the top and I'm just pushing the needle through to the bottom. I'm going to continue to sew because I still have thread. Let's just see what we got in this giant mess. Alright, this is a bonnet. That's a bonnet pattern. Oh, there's my hat. I think I was trying to re-engineer this hat. Yeah. Alright, I don't know why it was in there, but that's that. This is the other half of the quilted, which explains what happened to all my clips. That's so weird. I'm just going to start stitching these pieces of fabric together in kind of a wild, wacky way, and then I will make the just cut the skirt out on the size that I think it needs to be cut out on, and we'll see what happens. So there's one thing to remember about what I'm doing. I am making a mock-up out of a fairly straightforward woven fabric. The original skirt plan is to make it out of corduroy, and corduroy has some stretch. So I need to remember that there will be a little bit of a difference between this mock-up and the final product out of this. All right. Because my plan is to cut this on the size 4 for the waist, and then just ever so slightly graduate. So go from a 4 to a 6, and from a 6 to an 8. Okay. And I'm tracing it because I don't want anything to happen to my pattern piece. Okay, so now up here at the waist there is a little bit of a dip. So if you cut it out on the 8, you're going to dip a little lower, a little bit higher on the 6, and pretty high on the 4. And the thing is, I might have cut that off if I had been actually, cutting this out with my scissors on the mock-up. So that's why I'm tracing. I don't want anything to happen to this pattern. Not that I probably couldn't repurchase, but I just feel like I shouldn't have to. Alright, so that first cleared off shelf has a plastic bin that contains sewing patterns, and that's it. The next shelf down has a plastic bin on top that has odd notions, that little one with the green handles. It has like strange strappy kind of things, strange pins, and then under it is elastic, snaps, Velcro. Okay, and then there is a box with a retro vintage old pair of pinking shears, and on top of that is a roll of sulky iron-on tearaway stabilizer. And then in that little fabric basket right there is all of my embroidery floss. Beside that is that ceramic pink and white is a container that has carded buttons. Above it is a random assortment of bells, beads, buttons, all sorts of strange little accessory type items. Under that is some jewel glue, and that's it. It looks like there's something in front of it, but that's actually on the shelf below. That's a piece of wrapping paper. So that's all right there. And if you're wondering about the place where I was sitting, it has also been basically cleared off. It was just a sea of stuff. Bins, photographs, old papers, sewing notions, art supplies, and it has been cleared down to where it was when I first came into the sewing room today. And that is a paper bag full of recyclables and a trash bag full of actual trash that has to be thrown in the garbage. There's George. Pretty much everything is straightened up and cleared off, and my cutting table has just a few odds and ends. I've still got to figure out a few of those things. Not too many though. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm not at all unhappy. So that is where I will leave it today, and I will continue on. I do have that box of heirloom dresses down there, a bag of polyfill, a box of unopened coffee pods, and my paint. So, oh, and my serger is down there as well. So, but the process has begun. I am going to try to hit it pretty hard this weekend and just reclaim my closet, get it back to a doable. I've just got to have it be a doable. I can't have a closet where I can't get anything. I don't know where things are. I've misplaced items. I forgot that I had certain things. It's just, yeah. So, anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate it very much. I hope everybody has a really good Friday and an even better Halloween. Tomorrow is October the 31st of 2020. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that opportunity. I hope you have a fun and safe time, and if you enjoyed today's video, please hit that thumbs up button, hit the little bell after you subscribe, and you will be notified when I have a new video up, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.